Ty Bartell, Anthony Hartwig with Coach Mandy Rowe of the LaBrae Vikings girls basketball team. Coach, how are we doing today?
Doing really well.
Coach, I always like to start off with a practice question because practices are now ongoing. You've had a couple under your belt, got to see what you have from what you don't have. What have you seen? What have you liked in practices right now?
Practices have been great. Lots of high energy. We have 14 girls, so there's great competition within each other. So they're really pushing for spots right now, and we haven't had that in the last couple of years. So it's just making practice. It's just a lot better to see the competitiveness in them this year.
I love the inter squad competition. And when you look at spots that are available and the girls that you have fighting for them, let's go right from that into meeting the team and going down this roster and the girls that are fighting for their spots and the names that we should expect to see if we're coming out to LaBrae.
All right, so I will start out with we have one senior, Eva Presnar. She has played for 3 years for us. She didn't see a lot of minutes last year. She got in here and there, but she is a great shooter. She is actually she's hanging in there. So I look to see her getting some minutes this year for us. Then we have 2 juniors. We have Sammy Wells. She got a lot of playing time last year in the post position. She worked really hard in the off season, working out in the gym at summer league. She was there all the time. And then she actually tore her ACL in our last volleyball game. So we will not have her on the court with us this year, but we look for her leadership off the court with the girls. And then we have Marissa Levinsky, who is our second junior. She has been a starter since her freshman year. She has really shown a lot of confidence this preseason. So we look to her for the leadership on the court and just helping those young ones out as they get going into their high school careers. Then we go to our sophomores. We have Mia Sloan. She ran the point for us last year as a freshman. She has matured tremendously. She's very aggressive. She loves defense. So that's one of her favorite things. So we looked for her to lead our offense and then lead us on defense as well. Ella Kuzma, she led us in scoring last year. She's just a pure athlete. So we're looking for her to do some great things on the defensive end as well this year. And then we have Michaela Scruggs, who got some minutes last year, and we'll be looking to her to fill in some of those spots that we lost last year. And then we have a huge freshman class coming in. They've been together playing since kindergarten. I've actually helped coach them with my husband as they've been all the way through elementary and junior high, and they have been very successful. They have very high basketball IQs, and they just see things and can they're very good basketball players. So we look to fill a few of those in. Riley Rowe is one of them. She's very long and athletic. She'll do anything defensively, offensively that we ask her to do. Mariah Jones is a true post player, but she can also handle the ball well and play a little bit outside as well. So that gives us an inside-outside game. And then Angel Scruggs, who's a sister to Michaela Scruggs, she's a shifty little guard, just determined, and will do anything for you. She can score in all aspects on the offensive end. So that rounds out what we're looking at for rotational wise. And then we have Megan Young and Brielle Stout, who are also freshmen that could see some minutes as we get moving. And then Kendra Young also is a sophomore who might find some minutes in there too.
This must be exciting for you having such a big freshman class and an influx of youth coming in, knowing that now, I mean, you got to play that happy balance game now as a coach where you have some experienced players, but you got to teach now. What is it like when you have a good group of freshman girls? What are you really focusing on this first varsity year with them?
So it's probably the speed of the game. They're used to being the fast ones, playing in the junior high level, and then just coming into the varsity level where you're playing against 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and you're just a 14-year-old trying to figure things out a little bit. but I do think that they will be able to adjust quickly. And if they don't, they're going to have to. There's really no option for that. And that goes back to my girls that had to play last year as freshmen. They kind of got thrown into the wolves with our gauntlet of a schedule last year. So they had to learn really quick. It didn't always show on the scoreboard, but we did make a ton of progress last year, and it wasn't always the greatest and it was frustrating, but I think those girls learned some valuable lessons and they got valuable experience from that I will carry over this year to where they don't want to be on that end. So they know what that's like. So now they can get kind of that feeling of, okay, now we have some experience and we can win some games. We can do some great things with the team that we have.
They're also a good bridge to those freshman players for you as well, with that experience already under their belt.
Yeah, it's really exciting for us right now.
They'll definitely need all of that because this schedule does not get any easier for you. We'll start with the conference, the MVAC grade tier, loaded with really good teams. Talk about the conference you play in and what you expect out of it this year.
It's just a monster of a league. Last year we had 3 teams advance far into the tournament. Liberty, Brookfield made a great run, but you had Crestview and Garfield. They made great runs. I do know some of those teams were senior heavy, so they did lose a lot, but they also have great players coming back. So Liberty, they have a new coach, but they have some great players coming back. They've got 2 seniors that were good for them in the past years. Garfield, they have Mandy Cardinal. She's a tremendous athlete, amazing basketball player. And then you have Crestview returning everyone, and they have a ton of scores. Champion, they have most of their whole team back, and I know he's added some girls that decided to come back out. It just doesn't stop. Brookfield, they still have Kaylee Wellman. She's tremendous. They're under new leadership too, so that'll be interesting. We saw them in the summer. They'll compete very well. And then Camel, they have a new coach, and I've known her for a few years coaching against her at the junior high level, and I think she'll do a great job with them. And then Newton Falls, they're always prepared. They're always ready to go. They don't like to deviate from their system, and Coach Baker does a great job with them over there. So there's no easy path in our league this year.
You talk about the tremendous post players like Easterday from Champion. You got LaBrae Gaskins from Crestview, just to name a few, Mandy Cardinal from Garfield. Have you ever remembered it having this conference having so many rich post players that you have to go up against game in and game out in the conference?
No, I'm actually excited that I finally have a true post player. I haven't had one in about 4 years. That was when we made a nice tournament run and had some great seasons. So it's nice to be able to do some different things with our offense and our defense with that. But our true post player is just a freshman, and she's very strong. But those girls she's going to be playing against are a couple years older than her. So she's going to have her work cut out for her.
Valuable experience, though. Valuable experience.
Coach, we talk about the conference and how tough it is, but you've also loaded your non-conference schedule with plenty of challenges too. Who are some teams that pop up outside of the MVAC that you're really excited to test yourself against?
So we open up with Heartland Christian. We were supposed to play Southington, and they had some injuries, so they had to just go with league games this year. So we were able to pick up Heartland Christian and Grand Valley. I haven't seen Grand Valley in a couple of years, but I do know that he has a lot of returners coming back. Heartland Christian, Coach Lib, he does a great job with them. We scrimmaged them last year. He's a good friend of mine. I know he has a vast wealth of knowledge in the basketball area, and he's just getting those girls to work. We've got Girard, our second game. They're under new leadership, so that'll be interesting to see what he does with them. I know he'll do a great job, but they've got a couple girls coming back. And then I know he's building because he lost a lot of seniors. So not sure what that'll look like. But it'll be good for us to compete with those teams. And then we see Niles. He's done a nice job with those girls. They had a good season last year. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Coach, I always like to talk about the staff as well, because I know head coaches can't do it alone. You need a good group around you. What's the staff look like for the Vikings this year?
So I have Rick Aldridge. He's my JV coach, but he's been with me since I took the job over. He has a wealth of basketball knowledge. He tweaks a lot of our offensive sets, and he's got tons of ideas of what we can do here, or let's fix this. So we're always bouncing ideas off of each other. And then I have Todd Rowe. He's my husband. He's coming up from the junior high. He'll be my varsity assistant. And he does a lot of the shooting drills and the individual work with them, like before practice starts and stuff. And he's the fun guy. He's the buffer guy. When we get on the girls, when Coach Aldridge and I get on the girls, he always has to throw in a joke. And then I'm like, what are you doing? This is supposed to be a serious moment here. But he lightens the mood up for them. He makes it a lot more fun in practice for them. He brings the candy, brings the donuts. But yeah, he does. It's fun. It's nice having 3 people in the gym this year. It's an extra set of eyes on it.
A good old good cop, bad cop routine.
Yeah,
you know?
there you go. Oh, and I will say my junior high coaches, I have Alexis Huscroft and Jenna Repart. They are fresh out of college, and Jenna's still in college. So they're brand new to the coaching world, but they played under me. And so I'm happy to have them back in the program, giving back. And they're seeing what it's like on the coaching side instead of the players' side this year.
What's it mean to you that you've coached girls that want to come back to you and they want to come and help your program where it is now, and you know, you've seen them on the player side, now you get to see them on the coaching side?
Oh, I love it. And I just laugh when they come to me and they're like, what do I do? And it's funny because I'm like, oh, don't you remember you were in this position once? But I love the relationships that I've built with the girls when they come back in, or I can just mentor them. It's just a great feeling.
Coach, my final question for you today, it's the theme I'm doing for all coaches this year. It goes back to the love of the game that brings us back each and every season, no matter our role in the sport. Where did the love of the sport of basketball begin for you?
Oh, wow. That's a big question there. That's a loaded one. I would say, I started playing down at our local YMCA in 2nd grade, and my dad was a coach. He coached high school boys, high school girls. So I was always in the gym, a ball girl. He always had me up there with my brother and sister on Sunday nights, shooting and just going to basketball games, going to college games. I don't know. I played in Northwest Ohio, which is rich in basketball, and girls' games would sell out as much as boys' games. So it was such a great feeling. You'd have packed stands, and I don't know, it was just fun. And then college was fun. I've just had so many different stepping stones in basketball that it's just been great.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for the time you've given us today too, and just giving us a good preview of the Vikings in this very tough conference. We're wishing you the best of luck. We're rooting for you here at the network. And I'm sure both Anthony and I will be crossing paths with you again some point this season. YSN will get you for sure.
Thanks for all you guys do. We appreciate it so much.
Well, we appreciate you just as much, Coach. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the LaBrae Vikings girls basketball head coach, Mandy Rowe.
Thank you.